Hey there, everyone, and welcome to our live interview dedicated to End Your Year Strong. We've been having a series of conversation with our guest artist, our guest speaker, and today we have the incredible guest joining us. She is a renowned gospel artist, a successful entrepreneur, an inspiration to all of us, and we're excited to introduce Dr. Jessica Reedy. Hey, Doctor,
Hello, Dr. Trimm. I am so excited to be on here. Hello, 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 hello.
I'm probably more excited than you are. I mean, for many, many different reasons. And we're happy that our paths have crossed and God
Yes, ma'am.
has divinely guided us to this pivotal moment in the history of humanity without sounding so deep. But before we dive into our conversation, I want to share some exciting news with all of you. The End Your Strong Summit is right around the corner. It's happening December the 14th to the 16th. It's going to be an event packed with valuable insights and uplifting encounters with God and strategies that are going to help you to finish this year strong and set you up for a successful year coming. But before we get into our conversation with Dr. Jessica Reddy, or Reedy, and I'm always mixing that up. I
Sorry.
want and I'm sure everybody mixes it up too. But I want to kick it off with just a brief announcement with this advertisement, and then we're going to jump right into our conversation. Reedy, thank you so much for being here with us today. Can you share with
Yes,
us
ma'am.
and our viewers a little known fact or hobby about yourself that might catch people by surprise and they might find interesting?
All right. Well, I guess I'm going to just let it out the bag. I absolutely love going to Home Depot because of the smell.
Really?
I love the smell of wood and like hardware and construction. My father was a mechanic, and because I was a little girl, he didn't like me being dirty, but I was like a tomboy. So I was
Mhm.
always sneaking into like the garage where he had his shop. And I love the smell of oil and paint and primer. And it just has stuck with me. So sometimes instead of going to Walmart and Target to get like my household goods, I go to Home Depot and go through the aisles and it like,
A little sniff.
yeah, just a quick.
So are you a DIY, do it yourselfer?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're a handy woman, like you could do stuff.
Yes, ma'am. Before I was on Sunday Best, I worked for AT&T as their technician, and I was hooking up cable. I had
And
like
you loved
dropped
it.
out of. I no,
Oh.
because you have to go in those crawl spaces in the attics, and I don't like spiders and raccoons and stuff, and so no. But I knew how to do it. If it was a beautiful house that was brand new and there were no bugs, that's ideal. But that wasn't the case. I was
Okay,
hooking up
okay.
cable for hoarderers and you name it. So no, no.
I think you need to get your high by going to where you go now,
Yes,
Home Depot,
ma'am.
and keep out
Yes,
of
ma'am.
old spaces, especially
Yes,
older
ma'am.
houses, you know?
Yes,
So, I mean,
yes, ma'am.
just listening to you, we know you from Sunday Best. Your journey has been incredible. It's been diverse from crawl spaces to music, to finance, to earning a doctorate degree in sacred music.
Yes,
Can
ma'am.
you briefly tell us how these different paths have shaped your career and life today?
One was just for me not to lose hope. There's a what I've come to discover, and I'm still discovering. There's a greater mission for my life,
Mhm.
and because of how emotionally tapped in I am, how spiritually in tune I am, disappointment caused me to get so discouraged that I don't move. It paralyzes me, and
Okay.
so yeah. And coming from being a R&B singer, and I'm on my way, and I'm like, I'm gonna be this famous singer, man. Mama, I'm telling you, I'm gonna make money. We're gonna be famous, mama. And then I go to college, I get pregnant, I drop out. The level of depression that I hit was low.
Mhm.
And I feel as though God allowed me to touch the gospel industry, to understand there's literally nothing impossible. I can remember sweeping my mother's room, and Crystal Aiken was on the TV.
Mhm.
And I was 8 months pregnant with my oldest son. And I looked up, and under my breath, I said, I probably could never be on a show like that. And
Mhm.
the next year, I literally was on that show. And my voice had changed. I went from a first soprano to a tenor. I was extremely insecure on that show. I did
Mhm.
not know the voice I was singing with. So it was like getting brand new legs from a shot, because that was my first time actually exercising that voice publicly. Because the voice I had been known for, I wasn't singing in that voice. And it's
Wow.
so nothing about me said I'm the best here and I deserve to be here.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I just believe that God was like, let me show you what kind of God you're dealing with. Like, I'm this kind of God.
Mhm.
Why
Mhm.
you still think you need a whole lot of this and that to even qualify? I'm gonna put you right up there. Meanwhile, I'm gonna work on your character. I had to go through a lot of lows, a lot of ins and outs, but it chipped away at me in such a way. It chiseled me up, Dr. Trimm. I have to say, He's a great craftsman, man. I'm telling you. He been doing something with me. He has matured me in ways that I always desired. I'm like, God, if I could just stop being insecure here, I mean, I really could be dope. And I didn't
Yes.
know how it would ever fix it or how it would ever come off of me. Or if I could just stop being a people pleaser. I don't know how to fix my brain to
Mhm.
stop being this way. But he put these ingredients together, a little mix of pain, little mix of this. And I'm telling you, I don't know. I can't explain it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's one of the things, when it comes to purpose and God choosing you rather than you choosing him, it
Yes,
does something. It does something with your mind and your heart, and it humbles you. And I
yes,
think, when I think about your debut album, From the Heart, and it hit number one on the gospel Billboard charts.
yes, ma'am.
Can you describe that moment that you found out about this achievement, how it impacted your career, and just the driving forces behind this album?
Well, with that particular album, when I was on the show, they didn't really know what to do with me after the show. My voice was so unique in
Mhm.
comparison to the voices that were being displayed.
Mhm.
They didn't know my real lane. I just was a fan favorite. It was like, oh, look at her heart is so pure. Oh, her voice is so different. Well, all right, that was nice. It's like, what does her sound like?
Mhm.
And so when I got with the label at the time, they also didn't know what to do with me. They just knew I was popular and I was a product that could potentially make them money, but they didn't want to take the risk of losing money. So I had an
Mhm.
extremely small budget, and I didn't know nothing about budgets then, but now that I know about budgets, they gave me literally nickels, dimes, and pennies. I'm like, man, what am I doing $15,000 for a whole? But when you start thinking about it, back then I was like, all right, $10,000 is great, Um, and so they didn't know what to do. And in the beginning, they wasn't really pubbing me, publicizing.
Mhm.
It was really like, we still got Paul Morton, and they had other artists and Miss Dorinda. It's like, I don't know. We just gonna lock her in though. So what I did was went to Twitter and I just kept retweeting. And back then Twitter was like really hot.
Mm-hmm.
I only got maybe 3 tweets that day, but I would retweet them over and over to look like a whole bunch of people was like loving my record. And before you know it, my name was trending as have y'all went and got Jessica's new CD. I
Mm-hmm.
went to sleep and woke up and I got these messages from my manager at the time and the label. Jessica, your record is #1. And do you know what I did? I got on my knees. I said, you did this, God. Just like you did it on the show. You made these people like me.
Mm-hmm.
You like spread this wildfire. Because nobody believes. They
Mm-hmm.
don't even know who they got on their team. They don't know what they just signed.
Mm-hmm.
And you are still back in this thing. Like you still believe in me. Like you're not done. I was really discouraged even after that, after I had recorded the album.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, y'all don't know. I know I'm dope. I know I am. But I'm
Yeah.
still not sure, because I was still coming into myself. And I mean, God just, you know, he just
Yeah.
did that thing.
And something, it's a journey that connects with so many people because when I'm listening to the your song, they didn't know what to do with my voice. It sounds like a Whitney Houston experience.
Hmm.
Because it was so fresh, it was different from what they were pushing out from our
Hmm.
community back in the day. And here she has this unique voice. It's not white, it's not black, it's not Hispanic, it's just Whitney.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
I can say the same thing about you. It's just Jessica.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
people need to hear your story because there's so many gifted people out there. I mean, you go on YouTube, you go on Twitter, you go anywhere and you see nothing but gifted people with a
Yes,
passion.
ma'am. Yes,
And
ma'am.
last week we were talking to I think it was, or the week before, I'm losing touch with Miss Mickey Taylor. And she
Hmm.
talked about, used this terminology, the empire of purpose. And so we all have this empire on the inside of us that
Yes,
we're
ma'am.
trying to find articulation for. And I think this is one of the reasons why Andrew Year Strong this year is going to be so important and so relevant because we get an opportunity to look back and to see great individuals that God used and individuals that really change how we do life on planet Earth. And we have hit a hard reset. No one's ahead of anyone, no one's behind anyone.
Hmm.
And we can create the world that we want. We can create music that we want. And no one can say, okay, this is not going to work because we're
Hmm.
in the new normal.
Yes, ma'am.
And I want people to really understand why we have invited you, and why it's so important to have individuals that are on a journey that other people can be inspired by.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
have certainly thought outside of the box. In fact, you're creating a new box that other people are thinking outside of. But beside your music career, you've dedicated yourself to education and mentorship.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
went and you got your doctorate degree.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about that journey.
Um, Due to heartbreak, disappointment with the way I thought the gospel world was, and I came in there just bright eyed, bushy tail, like, oh, everybody loves Jesus. No, they don't. And I was like, I was like, you guys are evil. All of you are evil. Nobody loves you, Lord, and I don't want to do this. And I just was heartbroken.
Hmm.
And I was home and I was just depressed and I was crying. Holy Spirit wakes me up out of my sleep. I sit up. I hear a voice like you and me talking. Today you will start a school. I dropped out of college. I went back a few times. But I was like, I can't. And I went downstairs. I sat at my kitchen table. And it's like my hand wasn't my hand. And my thoughts weren't my thoughts. Because I was writing things and I was articulating my thoughts in a way that I only think inside, but I never articulated outside of myself. And I was building a curriculum fit to heal me.
Mm.
I was putting together a program that I would have to test out. And I'm reading it and I was like, I need to incorporate that in my own life. Where is these ideas coming from? I'm like, oh God, this is great. I mean, and here I was before I knew it. Within, I want to say 3 days, I had wrote an entire curriculum book. And then I sat down and I read
Mm.
it. I read it and I was like, now take yourself through the course.
Mhm.
And I realized I had so many traumas. A lot of the things that I identified myself as was not truly who I was at all.
Mhm.
It's what life had told me I needed to be in order to be accepted, in order to be invited, in order to be important. And I was on survival mode. So
Mm.
there's no way that I was operating in true purpose.
Mhm.
I was operating in selective purpose. It's like
Mhm.
God says you should do that, but I got other stuff. Well, give me that other stuff because the other people would like that stuff. So it's like selective purpose. Like I'll get to that other part in a minute. That look a little boring, but this part, this the part everybody gonna be like, ooh, you know. And I'm like, nah, I'm
Yeah.
tired. That's exhausting.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think I'm okay if nobody likes me. I think I'm okay if nobody invites me. I
Mhm.
think I'm okay going by myself.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I went through a season of isolation and exile from my family, from outside world, and I learned to hear God and listen. And I said, all right, now I'm gonna get some more people like me. And I had my
Mhm.
first graduating class, and I took them through the course. And I saw how they walked in and how they graduated, and I was like, oh, it works. Let's do it again, you know. And the class grew,
Mhm.
and I partnered with Mountain View College. I started teaching out of their course. I had some of my good friends that are like highly intelligent. I'm like, yo, Nina, you're an attorney. I need you to teach them about entertainment law. A lot of these people that's in my classroom, they are in their own industry, but they're getting ripped off like I did. They
Mhm.
don't know these 50 pages got all kind of loopholes in it. All
Yeah.
they see is that money part, and they
Yeah.
signing. Tell them, teach them how to read this like it's normal, like
Mhm.
it's just normal script. And I got the market and I said, yeah. And now we're gonna develop everybody. Nobody else will be bamboozled. But
Mhm.
the first thing you gotta understand is without my singing gift, without anything, you like me. You
Yeah.
invited me.
Yeah.
Forget the gift. And if I don't recognize that God has made me a gift first, then I'm
Yeah.
going to feel like nothing when nobody is saying, can you come sing me a song?
Yeah.
I'm gonna feel like nobody loves me. No,
Mhm.
you like me, and I have to like me first. So here's what I'm gonna do: I'm gonna work on me. I'm gonna actually like me, and then you can't help but love me. And now that you love me, girl, let me tell you what else I can do, girl. I can sing. And now you just in love, and now we just friends, you know. And it's unlocking that part that you think is least important.
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
most important part of you is the part that God spent all His work and His time and love in, and it's you. You are so important. And I'm like telling my students, like, man, I don't care you're an artist. I don't care you can draw. I actually like you. I like your personality. I like how you approach life. And you would see their tears. Like, you don't care that I'm a photographer. I don't care. What happens if your fingers break? Should we
Mhm.
just put you in a dungeon? You know, so I go on and on because
I
you
listen.
know, I love
Listen.
it. I love it. But yeah, it.
I love that. Mary Bethune Cookman, Mary Bethune Cookman, and all these other Mary Bethune, and I'm thinking of two different people, but these are the people that said, "My soul knows the terrain of my destiny, and I'm going to go with that."
Mhm.
And that's where you hear the God whispers, because your soul is the sanctuary of God,
Yes, ma'am.
and it's big
Yes,
enough
ma'am.
for just two, you and God,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
you believing His whispers. What was the best um, advice someone gave you. You know, we were talking about Mary Bethune Cloud, and I'm sure that she had to navigate many, many different types of terrain that she might not have been accustomed to or
Mm-hmm.
not even skilled in. But today we have an institution that she built, and the many other people, the Tuskegee Institute, many other institutions of higher learning and of education that these great minds had built. And you're saying, okay, God wants me to do this. What
Mm-hmm.
was the best piece of advice someone gave you that made a difference?
I love this lady. I love this lady with all my heart. She was one of the producers on Sunday Best. And she said to me, every time she saw me, she was working on a different TV show. She was always happy to see me. She said, "You made it to the show. You made it to the Stellas. I'm so glad they can see what I can see, Justin." And every time she saw me, she said, "Come here." She said, "I'm looking at you and I don't think you understand who you are. But I want to tell you, nobody can mess you up. You're the only one that can do it. Nobody can stop you, Jessica. You're the only one that can do it."
Mhm.
And I didn't understand. I'm like, "I don't think you understand. The adversary is after me. These people, they taking my money. They messing up my name. They saying I'm something I'm not." And how she spoke, I could cry. How she spoke was so sure. It
Mm,
didn't hit me until years later,
mhm.
where I realized there is no enemy against me. It's
Yes.
only what I believe. I
Yeah.
believe you an enemy, and so I'm crippled. But
Yeah.
when I see you as my trainer and I see you as my coach, I say, "Come on, thank
Yeah.
you. You have just made me stronger. Who
Yeah.
knew I was weak there? Thank you for showing up." It changed my perspective. Nobody can stop me. Who's about to tell me what God say is mine? Nobody can take my stuff. That's my stuff. You're not going to
Nobody could
change
take
me.
it. Nobody could take your place.
Yes.
It only knows your thumbprint, print,
Yes,
footprint,
ma'am. Yes,
voice
ma'am.
print, you
Yes,
know.
ma'am. Yes,
And
ma'am.
once you occupy that place in space and you dominate it, that it's God given, that's where all the sparkle happens.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not without its challenges. I think
Yes,
the
ma'am.
greatest challenge is struggling with the next best version of yourself.
That's it. Yes. Ooh, you say it so good. I don't say it like that. That's great. Yes. Mine is super wordy, but that was, yeah, that's exactly, yeah, that part right there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Look,
I
put that
said
on the shirt.
earlier, you give me the Anita Baker vibe. Not that you're like her, not that you sound like her, but her integrity.
Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
that's, she had so much integrity about herself and the uniqueness of her voice. Let
Yes,
me ask
ma'am.
you, what is and who is the same question. What is your go-to music when you're down and you need to be uplifted? And who is your go-to psalmist or instrumentalist that you go to that will uplift you?
I'm gonna tell you the truth. My mother. I do not like listening to a lot of different people sing and songs because I can hear the vibration of their heart. Don't
Mm.
listen to the words. And I said, they wasn't in the right spirit. Even these are some good songs. But their spirit was off and it's caused me to go crazy. But I called my mother and my mother say this. She'll say, "What's wrong with you? Why you looking like that?" "No, no, nothing wrong, ma'am. No, ma'am." She'll say, "Sing me a song, Jessica." And I know what that means is first you're gonna get yourself out of that feeling and then I'm gonna join you.
So
And I start
what would be your go-to song?
oh, my mother sings this song. Oh, she sings this song, Pressing My Way.
Sing it for us. Just
Um,
a couple of verses or a verse.
okay, it starts, "I feel like pressing my way.
Mm.
Oh, I feel like pressing my way.
Mm.
Sometime through the storm, sometime through the rain, I feel like pressing my way." And my mother, she
Mm.
never can remember the words, so she makes them up. She makes up the song. That ain't how the song really go. She kind of put a whole bunch of songs together with a
Uh-huh.
different melody, and she put Amazing Grace in there. She do all kind of stuff. But it is so great. It just be like, yes, ma'am, I can make it. Yeah. She said, you gonna have a good day, ain't you? Yes, ma'am. All right, then. Call me with some good news. Goodbye. And she just,
Wow. And that's what
yeah.
you need. She's not going to let you sit and she's not going to let you sulk and she's not going to let you sour at all. At all. Those of you that are listening, I'm praying that just that song would encourage you. Press your way. This year is going to be an amazing end your year strong. And I want you to make sure that you register, bring a friend with you. EndYourYearStrong.com. Please, I believe Jessica has touched the heart of God, and through her personal relationship, she is producing, she's empowering, she's educating, she's inspiring, and we're just so grateful to have her as a part of End Your Year Strong. If you haven't registered, register now. I want you to watch this before we say our goodbyes. Jessica, I could talk to you all day, and I could tell you why. You have integrity. You speak from your heart, and it's reality. You're speaking because you want to encourage others never to give up on their dreams. This is
Yes,
the
ma'am.
first time you're going to be with us. I hope it's not the last time. And I envision in the future us doing some things together, for real, for
Yes,
real.
ma'am.
So,
Yes,
why
ma'am.
should people attend and do your strong, and what music are you bringing to bear?
I'm gonna tell you this. A lot of people had a lot of different beginnings, and I think that your theme is perfect. We can start all kind of ways. But
Mm,
I always tell my son, my oldest son, I said, son, you can start over at any moment you want to. I said, you can
mm,
be going in the wrong direction and you can turn around right now. I said, I don't ever
mhm,
want you to think you are so caught up in something that you can't turn around and start over. And for
mhm,
me, in your year strong is just the recalibration of thoughts. It's like whatever happened, that's all right. Who I want to be right now. And what does it require of me to be whatever that is that I'm asking for? I've been asking God for something, but I have to be a certain type of recipient for that type of blessing, that type of promise to be fulfilled. And how can I end this year strong in my mind, strong in my faith, strong in my joy and my peace, unmoved, ready? Like not with no false humility, but sure, confident in God. Like, yeah, I'm here because I'm supposed to be here. I am a great contributor. I have something to offer you. World, kingdom, I have something to offer you, sister, brother. My presence just sitting next to you in the pew. I want you and I to feed off each other in such an amazing way. We leave strong. If I don't even get a chance to meet Dr. Trimm or even the staff, everybody should be so charged with a full expectancy that myself, I'm ready. I got something on my mind. I'm expect. Look, Jessica could crack all day long. She could not get these songs out, but just because she showed up, I recognize heavy presence. You
mhm.
know what I mean? That
Yes.
iron sharpening iron, and like I'm just ready. And all I'm gonna do is worship. I worship with jokes. I worship with smiles. I worship with my voice. I use every part of my instrument that I can. It's not just singing, but you should laugh because that sends up a fragrance. You
Yeah.
should cry because that sends up a fragrance. You should have your hands lifted. That sends up. We about to light that place up with all kind of incense. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
God just gonna be like, ooh, like Home Depot. Like when I go to Home Depot, he was like, ooh.
Yes.
That's
You're gonna
what
need
they
to go
can
to Home
expect.
Depot.
Yeah, you don't need to go to.
Yeah. But
Yes,
end
ma'am.
your years. But thank you for saying yes. I mean, you have
Yes,
been a
ma'am.
blessing to the
Thank you.
world. And today I experienced firsthand what everyone has been talking to me about. And that is the oil that is on your life. Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
you. I'm so happy that God didn't make you someone else.
Oh, me too. That's awesome. Listen, Doc, you got a lot of good one-liners. I mean, you're gonna have to trademark these. Like, that is good. Oh, that's so good. Okay, yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. See you all and you're strong.com. Make sure that you register now. God bless.